Greetings and a warm welcome to Let's Network TV. I am still the mad princess, absolutely still mad about arts, about naturism, about femininity and expression. And today we are hopefully going to cover those topics with the self-love coach, the manifesting explorer, and a priestess of note. Ladies and gentlemen, who am I talking about? I am talking about the blessed, the one and only Muvumbi Ndzalama.
You said it so Sotho, Ndzalama.
Oh, yes.
Ndzalama.
Ndzalama. Ndzalama.
So cute.
Muvumbi Ndzalama.
Yes.
We
thank
say it
you.
like that.
Yeah, Muvumbi Ndzalama wa Kangwenya.
Beautiful. So
Thank
that's
you.
From the crocodile totem.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
What an honor, my lady.
Thank you so much for having me,
to be
Nakenza.
sitting here with
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm in a dream. And dreams come true. All right.
They do.
They do.
They really do.
Let's get into it.
Cool.
All right. Please do give us a brief background about who Muvumbi is.
Muvumbi is a creator. So Muvumbi is my title. It is Xitsonga. It means creator, Dali. I'm not sure what it means, Kasisotho. But I think I'm a creator first. I think that's basically my background. And I'm a creator first because I am the image of God. God and I are really cool like that. I was so. So it's a great way that I guess, lead my life, because I think life is a big, beautiful canvas.
Yes.
And we can literally do to it as we please.
Yes.
So I am a big creator of my own life.
Yes.
And I think I'm a lover a lot. I think love is the highest form, highest frequency. It's the place where I'm most safe.
Yes.
And if I'm safe, I can create.
Yes.
And if I can create, I can be happy. If I can be happy, I can heal. And if I can heal, I can create some more.
That is so true.
Of course.
And that is so powerful. It sounds so simple and yet so powerful.
It does
at the
sound
same
simple.
time,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
just to love,
Yeah.
just to be happy, just to be joyful,
Yeah.
almost childlike,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because that's where it all begins.
I love that you say childlike because I think it's also part of my journey, part of who I am, which is a pleasure activist. I think that the child state gets the most play. And I think that we forget that, especially as brown women, black women,
Yes.
a woman of color, as Batu.
As Batu.
As Batu, So I'm very much about finding what brings me joy in play, in my child state, because I think from there, then the love is easier, the creation becomes easier.
And what brings you joy? What brings you pleasure?
Oh, man. So many things.
Yeah.
I mean, one is access to resources. That is a very big part of it right now. I think if we have access to resources, you have an environment in which you can thrive, which comes with its comforts, so it's about being in an environment that is beautiful, that is clean, that is helpful, that is not hostile, so it brings me joy to be in spaces that are safe. It brings me a lot of joy. And the access to resources, that's like money. I love money. Money is an access to resources. Yes. Because money can buy me these instruments. Money can buy, I can do my hair. I can go visit people that I love. I can eat.
Yes. But it can't buy us love.
I mean, look, I think it's a different thing altogether. But I think having money does make people feel a bit more ease, it can make people a bit more loving, more lovely. You know, maybe it can make them love,
Yes.
but it has essence of love in it.
I hear
You know, and I
you.
don't think we should stay away from that.
Yes, money is good.
Money is good for
Bring
love.
the money.
Of course.
Bring the dollars. Let's money.
Lots and lots and lots of money. Like, you know, when you think you've had enough, or this is how much you really want, you probably want more than that.
Yes.
Yeah, so that brings me a lot of joy.
All right. Beautiful. I'm enjoying this.
Me too.
And I want to go a little bit deeper
Let's.
into the conversation.
Let's.
All right. It says here that Umuvumbi, I think you explained your name so beautifully to us.
Of course.
In the beginning.
Yeah.
Creator.
Yes.
Ka Setswana ke motlhodi.
Mutlodi.
Yes, Muvumbi Mutlodi. Mutlodi wa tjodi.
Yes. Yeah. Because it goes with the potter, with the person that's...
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
Mutlodi.
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 Yeah, Mutlodi.
Mutlodi.
So there's a TLHOD.
Mutlodi.
Mutlodi.
Yes. Okay.
Right?
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank
Language
you.
is amazing.
Yes.
Language is a
Yeah.
beautiful thing.
Yeah.
In African languages specifically, we have 11 of them in South Africa.
We do.
And we learn every day.
Yes.
But ultimately, they're one language,
Sure,
right?
sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. So it says here that you are dedicated to helping others navigate their blind spots within the guidance of ancestral traditions, as well as indigenous and modern knowledge.
Of course. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about ancestral traditions.
Sure.
I mean, what exactly are we talking about when we speak of ancestral traditions?
Yeah.
I think we're seeing a lot. What could say that it's a trend? In fact, a lot of people, when you go on social media, they are looking at it and talking of it as a trend.
Okay.
That, you know, every day we're seeing new people going into the line of ancestry. What's going on?
You know, I think, firstly, I want to say that I'm very excited.
Yes.
You can call it a trend, you can call it whatever. I don't really mind.
Yes.
You can call it good, you can call it bad. I'm just happy it's happening.
Awesome.
So I feel that, you know, as you know, South Africa was a very oppressed country.
Yes.
And with that oppression came people being silenced to practice their culture. So ancestral knowledge is coming back to us, and I'm very excited about that.
Yes.
I think that because of oppression, we weren't allowed to dabble in the things that we used to be able to dabble in. You know, and people are curious. People are wanting to go back for the things that they lost. There's actually a saying called to sankofa. It's a Ghanaian term. When you go back to what you lost to retrieve it.
Sankofa healing.
Yes, yes. So that's basically what's happening. You know, I'm not gonna go into parts of it that could be bad, that could be leading people to things that they don't understand.
What is Sankofa healing in a nutshell?
Sankofa, the term itself, means to go back and retrieve what was lost.
Oh.
Yes. It's a Ghanaian term. So it's a very beautiful term. And I think that's what's happening with the trend of ancestral healing.
Beautiful.
You know, so people are just using, and it's not necessarily going back and just using exactly what it was, but also making it your own. You know, and I think that's what I've done as well.
Making it your own.
Yes, making it your own. You know, that's why Mina, in terms of my work, it's a mixture of umoya, which is the priestesshood, you know, the ancestral stuff, which is bungoma, the life coaching, you know, which is a bit more modern, you know, because I am a life coach, I am a priestess, and I am still a sangoma. So all of those things coming together, I've made it my own, you know, and people are making it their own in different ways as well. You know, some people are using fabrics to do their healing. Some people, you know, are using their music, you know, they art forms and all those things. But at the end of the day, it's about going back and retrieving what was lost.
I was just going to say, ultimately, it's that Sankofa healing that we're going back to.
Yes.
And that does also not necessarily mean, by the way you're explaining it, it does not necessarily mean that ubungoma or, you know, listening to the inner man being spirit led, in other words, is not necessarily about being sangoma.
Yes.
You can also practice expression
Yes.
through music,
Yes.
through dance, through all these different art forms.
Yes.
And it's basically a part of spirituality.
Yes.
Or
Sure.
ubungoma,
Yes.
umoya.
Yes.
And I guess at the end of the day, spirit guide me, and spirit will guide us all differently.
Always, all differently. But I think, to highlight the ancestral part, why you bring it up as a trend is because a lot of people are going into epehlweni and doing the training thing. And
Yes.
I think that is beautiful
Yes.
because there's a lot of rites of passages that we missed because of oppression. So there's a lot of us that do need to go there to ground. Even if you come out of there and you're not necessarily a practicing sangoma or, some people only go to this tunya part where they go to the mporofete and that's their initiation. But at the end of the day, the things that happen there are important because they ground you. All these things, it's not about being humbled or struggling. You think the fact that you have to sleep on the floor is about you struggling. No, it's about you being closer.
Connecting.
It's about you walking barefoot, eating a certain kind of food, praying at certain times of the day. All those things, being with nature, learning medicine, all those things are helpful to grounding us.
Yes, and
a
also
lot
the
of
types of food that are eaten, and also the types of food that are omitted.
Yes.
Altogether, everything
Yes.
is a grounding process.
Yes.
That is so beautifully
Yeah,
articulated, and
of
I think
course.
we could never really put a full stop to it.
Sure.
Because there's definitely so much. But I
So
think
much.
for me personally, I feel you have highlighted so much and everything. No, for real.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
Of course.
It just makes things, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's
All right.
connected.
It's connected. Thank you so much. So
Yeah.
you're also a manifesting explorer. You talk about that you're a self-love coach as well, and a priestess.
Yeah.
And these are also your way of expressing your art, your gift, and your calling, right? I want to look at naturism and feminism, or is it femininity?
Sure, we can call it both. Yeah,
We
yeah.
can call it
Yeah,
both, right?
yeah.
And these as ways of expression
Yes, there definitely are art forms.
in the feminine space. When we talk about, I think we can all kind of define what nature is, what nature is about. And then you hear naturism.
Yeah.
It kind of gives it a whole new, different meaning, right? Please share this with us.
So, naturism for me is twofold. So, there are people out there that call themselves naturists instead of nudists. So, we love being komapunapuning.
Yes.
Like when we're naked, we are at our happiest.
Yes.
So that's another thing that gives me joy. But it's also the other side of it is also the idea that I like. There's something called nature Degara. There's something called the Degara people from Burkina Faso. The Degara people from Burkina Faso.
Burkina Faso.
So they believe that when everybody is born, you are basically given a certain purpose via an element. So I am nature Degara. There's fire Degara, water Degara, mineral Degara. So I'm nature Degara. So nature Degara is basically about a person who takes care of nature, loves the environment, is grounded in a certain way. There's other elements as well, but it's quite long. But that's part of my naturism, But I think the art of it is that you are basically following the laws of nature.
Yes.
You are following the laws of nature. You're not in resistance to nature, which brings us to the femininity and the art of that. Because I am a her, I'm a she, I'm a woman, I'm a girl, ke musadi.
Yes.
And I love that about myself. And I'm in terms of the Sankofa thing, I'm coming back to myself.
Yes.
Because I've had to deal with having to survive. So I've become more aggressive, or even the way that I walk, was different, even the way that I dress, because I was hiding away from my femininity. And that also included the way I was relating to people. You know, I could have been more softer, more gentle.
Yes.
You know, women are soft people.
Yes.
You know, so it's something that I'm coming back to, because I think it's within my nature to be a woman. So it's within my nature to be soft.
Beautiful.
It's within my nature to create,
To walk a certain
certain way, to talk a certain way, to do
Yes.
my nails, to look cute all the time.
Yes.
You know, there's all these things about me, and even in the way that I service my community, I want to service it as a woman. So I'm okay being in the kitchen.
Yes.
I'm okay, you know, there's all these things. I'm not gonna talk too deeply about what's that other thing called? Feminists.
Oh,
Because
yes.
this is what it's about. I'm not talking
Okay.
about
Yes.
imbalances
You're talking
of
about being a woman.
I'm talking about just being a woman and the lore of it, you
Yes.
know. So even when I'm naked, you know, I feel like it's within my nature to
Yes.
be naked.
To be.
Yeah, like I still don't get how people go committing with clothes on.
Yes.
It's just like, why?
I hear you. I hear you. I concur 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And there's something interesting that you also mentioned, that you had to sunk off a heel and kind of go back to the soft, the gentle part of you, of being more feminine, more woman, right? Would you say there was a lot of masculinity, or there was more masculinity in you before? And you know what I'm...
Definitely, and there still is. I can feel it. There's still some residual stuff that I need to deal with, you know, but it's part of the healing. Yeah, there was a lot, man. There was even in the way that I would parent, you know, I would be a little bit more harsher.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm not saying that males are harsh, because also there's a lot of men that are also soft, but I think talking to about me directly is that I could have been way more chilled about things. I could have been going with the water instead of fighting against it. You know, especially around my behaviors and personality. Yeah,
So
especially
would you
there.
say we all have... Well, I guess that's a given. We all have masculine and feminine energy,
for sure.
right? So now let's talk about masculinity. You know, just overall, you know, we talk about masculinity in the workplace, masculinity in communities, all of these things.
Yeah.
Right? And we're also looking at men and kind of like the rights or the liberties that they enjoy. Right? Men, for example, in South Africa, they are allowed to take more than one wife, right? And that's okay. Do you think in a country like South Africa, in this day and age, it could be an acceptable thing in future for women to do the same? And what do you think about that as a point of view, personally, for yourself as well?
I mean, yeah, politics. I try not to get involved, honestly, in terms of whether it's the workplace or whatever, because everybody has their own agenda, you know, and everybody is their own creator.
Yes.
So I think that if that's what you want, then that's what you must get.
Yes.
I don't think it's got to do with anyone else or
Yes.
the way that society is, because you can walk into a legal office and have an agreement with as many partners as you like.
Yes.
You know, an agreement is an agreement. It might not be, you might not have the same, you might not be received the same at our home affairs, you know. However, like,
Yes.
I think the whole manifesting explorer thing about me is to show that you can have whatever you want.
Yes.
Truly.
We
Like,
didn't even touch on that.
Yeah.
What is it? Well, I would guess and say that it's about manifesting dreams, manifesting your creations, bringing your creations to life, right? What you think, what you believe you achieve. I would say in a nutshell, that's what manifesting is.
Yeah.
And do you think that in this day and 2022 age, right? Do you think that people are changing just the way we're doing things, just the way you talked about women, we are gentle, we are soft. But do you think that also we are exploring more of ourselves?
Sure.
Also in terms of pleasure and in terms of our sexuality. I think more women and men in this age are more free in their space, or that's what they're exploring, right? What do you think is bringing about this big phenomenon, this change?
I mean, people are definitely changing. I mean, if we weren't changing, what would be the point?
Yeah.
But I do feel a pull, especially for people that were recently like oppressed, to come out a bit more, the amount of black women that I see out in the streets smoking cigarettes is a lot.
Yes.
Compared to when we were growing up. But at the same time, most of those women are not necessarily smoking around their children or their partners or their parents and siblings. They're still doing it in hiding.
Yes.
So as much as there's change, there's still a lot of hiding. And I think that's why we're not manifesting at the rates that I think we could. Because there's a lot of us still living in shame and guilt about our joy and our pleasures. Where we could be a bit more upfront and be loud and proud and say, this is who I am.
Yes. Is this, would you say, a part of the Sankofa healing process? Or is this like a new thing, a trend also? Right? And I'd also like us to wrap it up and just go back a little bit to naturism.
Okay.
There's something I also wanted to delve into a little bit. Naturism and femininity. And, there are so many things that are considered taboo, right, that we don't talk about.
Yeah.
That we are also wanting to create platforms to be able to be expressively, be able to talk about those things freely, especially as women and men.
Yeah.
And, so that we can understand each other a little bit better going forward. Because I think when I look at these things, it looks like ultimately we are equal. Right? Am I right in saying this? I might get in trouble.
I mean, equality is it's such a huge topic, because we can break it down to so many things, but I can't say it in my heart that we're equal. And I don't think it's got anything to do with just race or just our genders.
Yes.
The fact that there are still, I don't know if it's 12 or 21 million people in the townships, that the access to resources is limiting. It's like, it's almost like no matter how many rituals you do, how many times you guys do a cleansing, sometimes even if you go to therapy, if you're still living in an environment that doesn't allow you to thrive, then we're not equal.
Yes.
If there's still people that are living in those kind of spaces, because a lot of them are feeling held back. There's so much talent in the hood. There's so much talent. People are talented. Do you get what I'm saying? People have got callings and gifts, and they can't fully articulate them or fully make them come true because of the environment. So I can't say we're equal, and I don't think that's what I'm saying. We can say it's about race, we can say it's about gender, but those are other. That's why I'm like, hey, politics. I try to, but equality.
Let's hold it right there.
Okay.
Hold it right there. In reality, I'm gonna close off. Wrap this up here.
Okay.
But you know what I wanted to ask you about earlier? Naturism and femininity.
Sure.
And the moon and the woman's cycle.
Okay.
And because we are female, we are also womb man, and we are bleeding human as well.
Yeah.
Right? I've seen something in one of your posts a while back about free bleeding.
Okay.
Right? Please share this with us.
Okay.
What is free bleeding? How does it happen? How does it take place? And so on.
Okay. So free bleeding is basically when you're on your menstrual cycle and you choose to not put anything to block the blood from bleeding.
Like how we use sanitary
towels or tampons,
and so forth.
menstrual cups. There's so many things that you can use. So free bleeding is none of that. You basically what I do is I wrap a towel or a cloth around me.
Yes.
And that's me the whole day. Or usually I don't try move around a lot, because it does, if I do want to move and I want to give my blood back to Mother Nature, I free bleed outside, in the garden.
So on these days, like, you would be at home.
I'll be at home, not really doing much, usually lying on the bed or on the couch, or even on a chair while I'm like if I'm on the laptop or something. I mean, I'd rather, that specific day, I'd rather not do much.
Yes.
Because I do believe that women are not supposed to do much when they're bleeding. Other people will say, no, you can, and it's got nothing to do with being dirty. I just feel like...
going back.
Yeah.
We're going back.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, in the back, they would. Some people would shame you. They'd be like, "Don't cook. You're not allowed to be dirty."
The garden.
Yeah, they would make it
the
sound like that.
garden.
They'd make it sound like that, but it's not like that.
Yes.
It's just more like rest. It's your time to rest. And it is about going back.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I want to sit and have multiple conversations with you like forever. So I'm hoping that one of these days we'll definitely have a part 2 session.
That would be great.
Do you think we can do that?
That would be wonderful.
We didn't mention earlier. You think I can mention it?
No.
Not?
No.
Okay, well, what we did not mention, we will hopefully cover in the part 2.
Yes, please.
Inshallah. I want to have that conversation.
I also do.
Because I think we all want to learn as much as we can about going back. We don't know whether these things, like I said earlier, we don't know if they're just trendy or if we are really
going back
and really learning these ways that are real and authentic and organic to us, right?
Course, yeah.
I mean, all we got to do is express ourselves. You got to do it.
I wasn't ready, but yes, let's express so we can de-stress.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the priestess, the self-love coach, the empress,
thank you,
the Makosa Makulu, Muvumbi Ndzalama, Muvumbi Ndzalama. What a wow. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Please tune in. We'll definitely share everything. Your content, your pages, everything you need for us.
Thank you so much.
To include in the space.
Yes.
We'll do that with love and with pleasure.
Yes.
Right? She didn't bring the hula hoop for me. We're going to...
next time. I'll bring it next time.
Yes. Remember, Let's Network TV. Subscribe, share with your friends, comment, you know how we roll. And remember, and if you cannot say my name, just call me the Mad Princess. And it's a wrap.